Settle Hydro is set up as an industrial and provident society. We raise money for the scheme through a combination of grants, a share issue and a bank loan, and it's roughly a third for each of those.
The profits are returned at the end of the year to the shareholders and the community. Within our articles and memorandums, the community element has to be spent on other environmental projects.
Low Carbon West Oxford started out as a community group with the objective of doing lots of things in the community, like helping people reduce their energy bills, doing things about transport in the community, local food, waste reduction, all of the range of things that a lot of community groups do. But we thought, hang on a minute, if our objective is sustainable living, and if a measure of that is 80% carbon emissions reduction by 2050, volunteers working on a set of projects, we're not going to get there. What can we do to get to that point? And that's where the whole idea of developing the renewables and using the money from those to invest in the projects. So everything that Low Carbon West Oxford does is for the benefit of the community in terms of living sustainably. And then when we were thinking about developing the renewables and we knew we needed to raise funds, we needed to raise equity, we looked at all of the different models available and decided on the Industrial and Provident Society, because even though it limits the amount of shareholding any one person can have, it's a very democratic structure. The way that the assets are locked means that it's very safe, and you can develop it as a BENCOM, which is for the benefit of the community rather than for the benefit of the shareholders, so that we could in that way make it clear to people that even though we were trying to get in a lot of money to develop big renewables projects, nevertheless that was for the benefit of the community. It wasn't so that a few people with lots of money could make lots of money out of it.
So we set up a share company which is called Hockessin Renewable Energy Limited, which would manage and install any of the technology that we decided to do. The advantage of the share company is that the people from Hockessin who are putting money into the project would have an investment in the form of shares, and we could also have money from outside the community, from people who wanted to invest with us.
We became involved firstly in the project. Simon Tilley, he contacted a few people he knew in the village to start with.
Sustainable Hockessin came about through a series of village meetings, and we set up this legal entity which is an industrial provident society which is now called Sustainable Hockessin Limited. We worked together as a village to come up with some ideas through village meetings, and as a group we decided to move forward with the idea of purchasing a wind turbine to generate money to pay back the investors and to pay for village initiatives to reduce carbon emissions.
We'd already set up a community interest company when we were doing the wind turbine project, because we thought if that was going to go ahead we needed a vehicle. It had to be a legal entity, and we've always felt that it needed to be a limited company to protect us from personal liability. So we formed a company limited by guarantee, which is also a community interest company, which means that any profits are ploughed back into it for the community's benefit. Limited by guarantee means there are no shareholders, so we don't have to pay dividends to anyone.